Greetings, all greetings, greetings. Sunset. How quickly the hours move. You can use the word pass, but move. Because it's all about movement. Movement of the earth, the sun, all the other stars in our galaxy, our universe, all the other planets around those stars. And of course, there's always a place of birth and a place of, how would I put it, reconstruction. Because the terms in which we speak about death is not exactly correct. Everything is a chemical. Everything is an atom. Every atom is broken down into its own parts. Each one a living being. And when it's time, when it's usefulness, when it, like the food we eat, we put it into our bodies, and our body extracts certain elements from it, and then the rest is passed on so that the earth and the other beings on the planet can reprocess it. We're talking today about reuse, and they're talking about climate change and how the earth this has been going on for billions of years. I mean, I shouldn't stop using words like billions though, because the earth, oh boy, universe, not born, never dies. Big Bang, they don't understand. They're using a word which they really can't comprehend what's involved in that process. Because just like the earth reprocesses everything, the universe does the same thing. Anyway, I'm here to talk about something completely different today. Actually, there's a lot of it, but I had to choose two. And the two I chose, hopefully, will make sense. The first one I'm going to look at, the first one I'm going to show you is this article. Trump turns civil rights upside down in the biggest rollback since Reconstruction. See where it says CNN. Go look at it. Please go read the article. It's on the politics. But what this has done is it's trying to make you believe that this is a civil rights issue. But it's not. Well, it is, but the primary issue is not civil rights. And every president of the United States, well, except Obama, and they still found a way to got him into it, but use black people, African Americans, to refocus Caucasians from the events that are going on around them caused by them. It is not the African American or any other black people who destroyed America. It is the Caucasian people. But you can go back to Ronald Reagan and his go back to Ronald Reagan. His crime, how bad crime is in drugs. While he was selling drugs in the black community, he was making it appear as though black people, Negroes, Americans were the worst. They came up with the name criminal to replace. They instead of saying black people or so black people, they said we're gonna criminal. It's a name that they stuck to black people. They're talking coded messages to each other. So you know, crime in America is bad. We got to do something about it. What they do? Create prisons, incarcerate black men for a blunt. Or a blunt is like a cigarette-sized marijuana. And then they turn the prisons into private institutions where Reagan's people, Wall Street, made billions, trillions of dollars now. This is what Trump is doing. He's pulling the same old playbook. Because everybody knows the people who benefit from DEI are white women, as they call them, Caucasian women. 90% of the people hired on this DEI thing were Caucasian people. 90% of the people going into the military on this rainbow thing, Caucasian. %90 of the people who they're trying to put in positions were Caucasian women. But they're trying to make it look, give it the appearance of that has a lot to do with black people because they're refocusing their attention. And it's always been like that. This is the way it works in America. In Britain too. Britain's got its problems. Guess who they turn against? The people who came from the Caribbean, what they call Windrush. The people who they brought to England from the Caribbean to rebuild England after the war, paying them, woefully bad wages. And after these people worked to rebuild Britain, now it's like, you got too many of these people, our culture is falling apart, you gotta get rid of them. France, the same thing. Germany, they're trying to export Africans after they get the genetic material that they need to rebuild their genes. But that's another story. We talked about that before, but you got to get back to it again. But that's what this article is about. You got to read it carefully. You got to read it carefully. And see that they're all talking about black people being put in these positions, but when you really go and look at the situation, you will see that it's Caucasian women and Caucasian from the rainbow community. that got all these DEI positions. Yes, there are a few black people, but they could have done the job without DEI. They wouldn't hire him to do it, but they were qualified. The only thing that was happening was that when you send in a resume and they find out you're black, they ain't calling you back. But anyway, read the article. I urge you to read it. Go and read the article. Go type it in on Google. Type in the information on Google. Article is going to come up. Read it. The next thing I have to deal with, made an error there, but anyway, gotta correct it. Next thing we have to deal with is this. I want you to go to this channel. It's called Panagenius, and watch this video, and then all the other videos associated with this subject that you can find. Because once before I told you that these people work as a group, and what they do is half the group will work on it from a point of view of this right here. It's time to pay up. Make it appear as though they're trying to do their best to make things right. And we talk about the other group a few weeks ago when I showed you the article and the video where this other guy wrote a book. Say, yeah, Jews are like everybody else. We were involved in slavery. We did this, we did that, we did this, we did this. We didn't do anything wrong. Everybody else was doing it. The whole world was into the slavery thing. We are just like the average Caucasian. You know, we fought in the Civil War. We fought for civil rights. You know, we helped black people. And I told you how that works. And how it works is that while one group is saying, hey, look, we're sorry for slavery, you know, we were just doing what everybody did at the time. So, you know, let's move past that. And here's this group saying, we want to pay for what is going on. Because it's time to get this behind us. But the reality is, while they argue back and forth, time is passing. And they're hoping that the turmoil in the world come to a head. And there's a war. I told you, the Zionists are, they don't act without cause. In this video, they deal with two families, one in Gladstone. All of these people that you hear talking are Jewish people. When you go back to their history, you will find some information that will cause you to wonder and think, if you do it. Because you see, a lot of Sephardim came to Europe, and when I say Sephardim, you know Sephardim is the dark skin, the Israelite from the Middle East, of Iran and Africa, and they married into the royal family. Their royalty married their royalty. This was done to get the genetics from these people. And these people took the names of the British. It's like 400, 500 years ago when slavery came to America and they brought Africans. Guess whose name was taken? History shows you don't see their books, the history that they write, because we don't read it. Not we, but most black people don't read it. All through the royalty of Britain, France, the Dutch, the Spanish, the Portuguese, are people that call themselves Jews who got our genetic material, but not our, and they took our culture, adopted our culture. There's a reason why I always preach about, well, preach, I shouldn't say, use that word, talk about why we shouldn't be calling ourselves Jews, because in the end, we're going to have to teach the African how this thing is done. Because the old African is just as deceitful as they are. The young African is the one we're going to have to teach, raise them up to be capable, give them the knowledge of this so they can change Africa. That's why I'm giving you these two articles. Both show how things are done. Now these two, when they argue about slavery, it's to delay. This is a delay tactic. This is not, one might, you look at it and say, oh, these are good guys. They're trying to do something about it. The other guys are not the good guys. But they're both got the same plan now. The plan came down from above them. You do this and you do that. This decision wasn't theirs. Anyway, go look at the articles, read them, watch the videos, and then continue to do your research. Time is coming when they will not be making the decision, we will be. And I said, judgment is swift. One day things look like they're never going to change. And then the next day, the earthquake hits. The volcano explodes. And when it all settles down, there's a new sheriff in town, new marshal, and that marshal is looking for all the people to put an end to this. Judgment is swift. Peace.